Okay, we continue to provide an overview of the book. We're talking about this book, as you see. It's the title of the book is The Pursuit of Human Well-Being, um, The Untold Global History. I'm one of the editors of the book. My name is Joe Sergi, and the other editor is Richard Estes. Um, and what we're going to do is, again, provide the synopsis or what you call, and maybe an introduction to chapter 5, and the title of that chapter is Islamic Conceptions of Well-Being. This chapter is authored by Professor Mohsin Jushanlu, and he is an assistant professor of psychology at Kimyoung University. This is in South Korea. Okay, let me read you to the introductory paragraphs that give you a sense of what the chapter is about. Islam is the youngest and fastest growing of the three major Abrahamic monotheistic religions. That is, the other two being Judaism and Christianity. All three believe in a single God and share many principal beliefs. Islam's holy book, the Quran, is considered by Muslims to be the literal word of Allah revealed to Muhammad through the angel Gabriel. Islam is considered to be a comprehensive ideology and a style of life that make possible well-being of individuals and societies in this world and the hereafter. Islam has precise rules on each and every aspect of life, and these rules are followed by devout believers as God's commands. Muslims consider Muhammad as the last messenger of God, who brought God's last and complete and most complete guidelines for a proper life. Hence, an overwhelming excuse me. Hence, an overwhelming majority of Muslims throughout history have believed that the most complete version of well-being can only be attained in a life lived on the basis of the teachings of Islam. Islam currently has more than 1.6 billion adherents, making up 23% or 1 in 4 of the world's population. Islam is the most widespread and fastest growing religion in the world. Muslims represent the majority population in 49 nations. They also constitute significant minorities in other nations, including the successor states of Central Asia of the former Soviet Union, China, Europe, and the Americas. The highest concentrations of Muslims are found in South, Southeast, and West Asia, as well as in North Africa. Countries with the largest Muslim populations include Indonesia, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. Although Islam first appeared in the Arabian Peninsula in 622 of the Common Era, and the Quran is in Arabic, most Muslims today are not Arabs. In fact, Arabs in countries such as Saudi Arabia, Morocco, and Egypt make up less than 20% of the global Muslim population. Examples of non-Arab Muslim nations include Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Arab and non-Arab Muslim populations practice Islam as their religion, but have maintained key elements of their indigenous cultures and languages. Shortly after the advent of Islam, the religion started spreading rapidly to a vast number of regions, including parts of southern Europe and Central Asia. The contemporary Muslim population comprises a large number of groups in various geographic regions, embodying a wide range of races, languages, and cultures. This cultural and geographic diversity engenders some variation in religious practice among Muslims. Muslims vary in particular on individual levels of religious commitment, openness to alternative interpretations of the Islamic faith, and their endorsement of various Islamic sects and movements. In particular, there is variation among Muslim communities concerning the interpretation of certain events in the history of Islam. For example, the surrounding succession to Muhammad, religious authority, and the institution of leadership and political power. However, there are also widely accepted beliefs and practices that are considered to be the core of Muslimhood. Central beliefs that unite Muslims include a belief in the oneness of Allah, in the prophethood of Muhammad, and in the Quran as the sacred revelation. Key religious practices that bind Muslims together include the Salat, which is daily prayer, the Zakat, which is the annual charity, the Sum, which is the month-long fasting during Ramadan, and the Hajj, that is the pilgrimage to Mecca. Therefore, despite disparities in beliefs and practices in the Islamic world, basic tenets and practices of Islam are the integrative force behind all Islamic groups and schools of thought. The present chapter examines Islamic conceptions of well-being and their development since the earliest days of Islam to the modern era. A brief discussion of the major historical periods of Islam from its establishment to the present is followed by a shift to the Quranic conceptualization of well-being, to an investigation of the concepts of well-being in Islamic philosophy and Sufism, two channels through which Quranic ideas have been developed. Finally, I examine the concepts of well-being in the contemporary Muslim world. Throughout this chapter, the following questions are examined. So the chapter, in essence, covers answers to those three questions. And what are those questions? How does Islam, as a religion and a system of thinking, conceptualize well-being? That's the first question. The second question is, how has the Islamic concept of well-being changed over time in various Islamic trends of thought? Second question. Third question. Considering the dominance of secular concepts of life, human nature, and well-being in the modern era, are Muslims still committed to original Islamic notions of well-being? Good question. Another question. That's the third one, and that sort of makes up the core of the book. I mean chapter. And I hope that sort of gives you a sense of what this chapter is about. Okay, stop there.